It is the squad. It is the defenders. So we've gone from forwards to midfielders. They are out now, so do enjoy them if you haven't yet. But we are on to defence, and we're still being released for free, courtesy of NordVPN. So thanks a lot to NordVPN for partnering with us for this run of squads, and lots of free videos in August as well. But these are the defenders that Arne Slot has to pick from for, well, at least until January, and then maybe beyond. So let's sort them all out. So Sepp van der Berg has been sold for 20 million, to a lot of people's surprise, not least his.
Yep.
So he's gone to
maybe even 25, John.
well, add-ons, potential add-on to Brentford win the Champions League. Let's hope for Billy's sake that they do. If Billy's happy, I'm happy. So there you are. Sepp van der Berg is sorted down there. Chimikas is still here. Owen Beck has gone on loan to Blackburn.
Yeah.
We love Blackburn as a home. Handy for the hills. So there we are. So Andy Robertson is still here. Trent, we've got a young-looking Joel Quanta there. Kanate. Joe Gomez toyed with us for a while, but is remaining for now a Liverpool player. We've got Virgil van Dijk, and we've got a really young-looking Conor Bradley. They're the 8. It's 2 for each position. The 2 who have gone, we'll see. There's Nat Phillips has gone out sort of on loan as well. A couple of others, but those are the 8.
They are the 8. I wonder, in the end, one of the things the reasons why I think they get the money they get for Van den Berg is it wouldn't surprise me if there was possibly a figure where they thought, you know what, we'd rather just hang on and use him in sporadic bursts here and there.
Yeah.
And maybe that might also have been muddied by the idea that they weren't quite sure where Gomez was going to end up. So they may well have thought to themselves, we're fine with if the 5th one is a footballer who profiles like this, or we may be prepared to have the 5th one and then buy a bit more of a project to be the 4th one off the basis of the fact that we already are aware of Van den Berg's level, and let them sort of fight it out for 12 months and go from there. So I think that's part of what drives the Van den Berg price up, is that Liverpool, because of where the squad was, we're in a position to be able to say, well, you need to really make this worth our while. Yeah. And I think we sort of miss that from time to time, not least because we end up sort of saying, oh, isn't it magic, as though the Brentford sporting director, let's be clear about this, Brentford are a clever football club. The fellow who owns Brentford is not a divvy.
Yeah.
And so he's signing this off.
He's one of those rare people who's got rich by being smart.
Yeah. And also, and could well end up doing that in football.
Yeah.
Which is even rarer.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So,
yeah, what's the joke? How do you get a small fortune in football? You start with a large one.
Yeah. And whereas Benham could end up doing the opposite if as and when he sells Brentford, which supposedly he's interested in doing around now. But Brentford have been smart decision makers. So if they're looking at Van den Berg and still paying that money, they must be able to listen to what Liverpool's rationale is and not think to themselves, these are just having us off. They'll know that Liverpool, there's a deal that works for Liverpool, but there's also a deal that works for them. And Brentford don't do any deals that don't work for them.
Yeah.
So they, I think, can see a long-term use, I think a short-term use as well for Van den Berg, but they've started the season quite well playing with Collins and Pinnock in a back 2. The 2 games they've won, they've played a back 4, Ayer at left back, but as I love this quote from Sarri, that August isn't real football. We'll find out what Brentford do in September, and I think it'll evolve more and more Sepp van den Berg heading it clear, clearing it, and also passing neatly into midfield. I think that is in Brentford's future. So they've got a deal that they like, and I think that, but Liverpool were able to get that by virtue of being in a position where they may well have sort of had the legitimate view, we're going to use the lad. So he's going to get games. There's League Cup games. You know what I mean? He will feature for Liverpool as we go all the way through, and I think that helps.
So we end up having a few more cards than we would do for the player who we just don't want to use.
It's evident that he's not going to get near it.
Yeah.
But the other side of that though is, and when we talk about the bigger picture, Beck's gone on loan to Blackburn. I think that's perfectly smart. If Shimikas wasn't going anywhere, but even if he was, I think that Liverpool would probably look to get a senior professional in. So I think Beck sort of had to move by the end of it. The manager also got to have a look at him. Let's be fair. He got to have a look at him and has made the decision that he's happy for him to do the year on loan at Brentford. But, and this is where, we talked on previous ones of this about worst case scenarios. When I look at this is where I am just a little bit like, oh God, let it not rain.
Well, I'm going to ask you, Neil, to get them into 2 banks of 4 for me while I do the NordVPN thing. So while Neil gets them set up, I just want to say huge thanks to NordVPN for partnering with us for lots of free content over the summer. So it's been a great way for us to put loads of shows out for free. But also, I know a lot of you are enjoying it, have signed up and are getting a lot of benefits, because there are a huge number of benefits to NordVPN. Too many for me to ever read out. So I can only talk personally from when I use it. I go away a lot, sometimes with Liverpool, sometimes with the Anfield Wrap, on occasions even with my family.
Come on now.
And, you know, when I'm logging into public Wi-Fi's, either sort of in airports or in cafes abroad and stuff like that, just having that extra peace of mind that comes from a service like NordVPN, so protecting you from phishing attacks and just slightly unstable, let's say, internet access just does give me, like I said, a bit of extra peace of mind on those. So extra security is a massive plus for me. The fact that I can use it at the moment on up to 10 devices is brilliant. So all the family are all using it as well on sorts of different things to get on. So as you get older, when the kids get iPads and stuff like that, having it on 10 devices is brilliant. But from a personal point of view, the thing that I use it most, certainly when I'm here in the UK, is that ability to change your virtual location with a click of a button to any country that you want and enjoy streaming services, entertainment, sporting events that are on telly or whatever in those countries that aren't available in your own. So it is that easy. It is a click of a button, and it does allow you to do that. So if you want to enjoy things like the American NFL coverage here in the UK, or the Paralympics being shown by NBC here in the UK, then you are able to do that with the click of a button. And also going the other way, if you're on holiday but you can't miss Coronation Street, then change your virtual location from wherever you are to the UK, log into ITVX and enjoy whatever is going on in the Rovers' return. I'm not up to date with events in the Rovers, to be honest with you.
No. But you are up to date with ITVX, which I like. It's great, ITVX, by the way. Loads of good stuff on that. I think it's a great service.
Yeah, in
my head, I want them to partner with us. So if you're involved in ITVX, this is not a joke, by the way. You know, I'm bang up for it.
Yeah, well, there you go. Up to that. So you've done your job, Neil.
Yes, I have.
So thanks a lot for that. So that's the back four, and that's the back four sort of behind them, if you like. That's the change back four. I will say before you go on to say that you feel that the one or two short, I really like that as a change back four personally. I think if you were to rank the change 11s, I would have the forwards number one, but not too far behind them. The defence number two, and then the midfielders maybe a bit of a jump to 3. I really like that as a change back forward. I think, I think Quansah's obviously started the season and ended up sort of coming out, but I still think he's a phenomenal player. I really like Joe Gomez. Don't forget, you give him our player of the season last season as well, so he was great there. I like Chimikas more than the average bear, and everyone loves Conor Bradley, including the Seems Honest lot, who gets him on the pitch whenever he can, much to the disgust of Trent Alexander-Arnold.
On at least one occasion. I think a lot of that's fair. What I worry about, and I'll always worry about, and I'll always say it on these shows, I just worry about Chimikas' lack of pace. I just think Robertson makes such a difference, not least because he's just quick. And that's almost feels like it's not fair. Like, players are as fast as they are.
Yeah.
And he plays for us, so you go from there with it. I think we've forgotten a little bit of what Gomez has done, left-sided centre-half. Working on the book, one of the things that I did was I just went through loads and loads of teams, and we forget in 21-22, Virgil doesn't even play the first Champions League group game, I don't think, against Milan at home. He plays Gomez there. Because Virgil's coming back from his injury, and he's looking after them a little bit more in that period. And I think that you might see that, not necessarily for the away game in Milan, but I, for instance, don't think Virgil will start against Bologna at home in the Champions League. I think there's a chance that he goes with either Quansah or Gomez in that left-sided position and goes with Konate, or there's one where he doesn't go with Konate and goes with Quansah as well in there. I think not dissimilar to midfield. I don't think you do both at once. But I think he may well look at that. I don't think any of us are expecting Virgil or Konate to play against West Ham, and it may well be that whoever performs the best, both in that game against West Ham and in training, out of Gomez and Quansah, gets the start against Bologna. Or he might go with both of them. He might shift both of them for that home game, and that's an opportunity for him. But point being is that I think there was a lot of feeling they definitely need to go and buy someone left-sided to cover Virgil. Gomez has done it in the past. And I think Gomez has got a good range of passing. He doesn't have a Virgil range of passing, but practically anyone you bring in to cover Van Dijk or alternate for him, you're sacrificing something somewhere because Virgil's, the all-round man. I think Bradley offers so much to Trent. Like, you know, we've done the joke, but I hope Trent understands that genuinely, I think there's a chance. Trent hits form last season in such a way just before his injury where he's an absolute dynamo in everything that he does. And I think that we can get Trent into the position this year where he's that player, but for 6 months.
Yeah.
Because he's that player when we need him to be that player. There's a funny little run at the minute. It's mad. You see the Champions League games come in and we've got a little run because I'm trying to work out, I want to go to one and there's games around it. We've got a little run. And I don't mean to be disrespectful to these teams, but where we play Ipswich, Eindhoven and Bournemouth at the end of January, start of February. And it just sort of hit me with that when I was looking at that, like, that's perfect to make 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 changes across those games and really make sure you're looking after everyone. But when you've got this level of ability, that you're going into all those games, and I really rate Bournemouth, but you're going into all those games with a real sense of surety that we're still this good.
Yeah.
But also what that means is that, you know, you then, at the end of February is when we've got City away. So City away, you've got all your top dogs, but your top dogs are as close to 100% as humanly possible. That's the way you do this. And that's what the manager will be looking for. And when they plan a season out, you know, you look at this one now and there's this mad peak at the end of November, start of December, where they play now Madrid, Champions League, City, Newcastle, Everton, and then I think it's Girona, all in 14 days. The Madrid game's Wednesday, the Girona game's Tuesday. They play all those in 14 days. They need to win at least one of those Champions League games. I'd argue 4 points would be great. They need to not get beat at City. They probably need to not get beaten. They're home to City, so they could do with taking 3 points off City, if we're all honest about it, from years gone by. We're then away at Newcastle and we're away at Everton, and we need to go and win at Goodison Park because, God, you know, given what happened last season, it's important that monkey's off the back, and Newcastle's going to be a tough game away from home there midweek, and that's where you need to be able to go, all right, yeah, dip into this, but a first 11 there, but realistically, are you going to go Madrid, City, Newcastle, first back four, you're probably going to want to make one change minimum through that run, and possibly even 2. And I think that he's got the squad to do that, and you're going to be using from the bench if you're getting on top in these games. And I think that you see this and you think, you know, of this, I think this can do that. I just worry that in the round, I know you like him. If I've got a criticism of the way this whole summer's gone, with the way they're planned, I think they could have bought Aït-Nouri from Wolves. But by the time they get to the point where maybe they've concluded they'd quite like to buy Aït-Nouri from Wolves have sold Kilman for 40 million and Neto for 60.
Yeah.
And also Wolves look a bit crap. And if you're Gary O'Neill, you're going, don't you sell Aït-Nouri?
Yeah, you can't keep selling me good lads, yeah.
So Kilman, I checked this morning, was done on July the 8th for 40 million. So, and Lopetegui's worked with them before, so Lopetegui's coming to West Ham, wants a centre-half, gets Kilman. And knows him. And Kilman signed
he's doing really well, by
a 7-year deal, and he's doing really well. He's a really good player. I like him. But my point is more, that's Wolves' business. They do that, they do Neto, and that's Wolves. The Wolves are not going to want to do any more outgoings. And I understood the manager needed some time to look at things, and I understood there's a new sporting director, and I know it's hard. But when you look at them not do the business that they do in midfield and only do one forward, I think it's perfectly legitimate for people to be saying, well, you could have done a left-back.
Yeah.
Or if not even the sky falls in, because I don't think it necessarily is the case, but if there's a point where we look light at centre-half, people will be saying, you could have done a centre-half. And if, for whatever reason, they can't get a contract sorted with Virgil, people will be saying, well, you could have began to back Virgil up properly with a starter over the course of the 12 months. And I think, so I take your point on, the step down in the attackers is really great. I've just talked the step down on the defenders up, but I think that it's legitimate for people to go, A, I wouldn't have just minded one more full stop. B, there is an upgrade I think you can do, even if you just wanted 8 in terms of either left back or that left-sided centre-half berth, without being critical of Gomez, who I think can do a great job there, but with the idea of should we be doing the legacy plan around Van Dijk. And in the context of not having sorted the midfielder out, I think that criticism's even more fair. The flip side is, and this isn't me making the excuse for it, if, for instance, the earmarked Aït-Nouri's got 1 year left next year, we all really like him. I think there is, it just feels like one of, they don't always happen, but one of those that just feels like it's going to happen in a really weird way, and maybe I'm just full of shit. but the flip side of it is, if everyone had been in place and on top of it, it could have happened the first week of July.
Yeah. No, that's fair. And listen, I'm not saying that it's perfect, you know, as an 8, and I'm not saying that they're looking at it and thinking that they can't sort of improve it, but I think, I like it as an 8, and I think there's a lot of quality there. But I think the main thing you do have to say is, if we just take the 4 out who are in the team at the moment, how these four have started the season has been absolutely phenomenal, and it's been sort of great to see. I think how Canate's dealt with, not being picked in that first game and sort of come back has been a credit to him, as a person and a professional. Really, he's used it very much as a sort of a positive and used it as a way to sort of, to fuel to himself. But I think as a four, they've not conceded a goal yet. They've barely conceded a chance from open play, and I just think they've been phenomenal.
I think the other thing that I think the two fullbacks in particular, you mentioned he wants to get Bradley on the pitch, but he's got Chimikas on the pitch as well. And I think the two fullbacks in particular, they need the lads up front to do the business, because that'll get them more starts. Because I think then if you're able to look at Robertson and Trent off the view of, lads, a lot of this time you're only playing 68.
Yeah.
Because we're 2 or 3-0 up, we make our change, and from there, off you come, but that means you're starting the midweek game. And then hopefully the midweek game goes well. It won't always, but we're 2 or 3-0 up. Bologna at home, you both started it, but we're 2 or 3-0 up, and we've got Crystal Palace at 12:30 on the Saturday. Off you come on 68, because we want both of you at Crystal Palace. It's the last game in the run. But we are 2 or 3-0 up now, and you've got to roll with the punches of, you want to start Saturday, you come off now for this one, because we want someone else to do this run at the end of the game, especially an athlete, a direct runner like Bradley. He just gives defenders a new problem to have to deal with. You've had all of Trent's excellence and wonderful touch, but now you've got this fella who will just leg you all over the pitch for a laugh, drag you into places you don't want to be, and then get back if you win the ball back, by the way. You're back quick as a flash. So I think there is squad management to be done if he's only got 8 of them. But the flip side of that is I think he backs himself. And the other thing that I think is really important to say, full stop on all of this is a choice. Yeah. It's a choice Slot's made. It's a choice Richard Hughes has made. I don't know how involved Michael Edwards is, but Slot and Hughes, this is their choice. So if it's their choice, they wear it, but there's every chance they can wear it in a really positive way. Everyone gets time on the pitch. Everyone gets rhythm. Everyone's involved. Everyone knows the job.
It seems to have very much ended. We seem to have very much ended with 2 for each position in a way that can't be a coincidence. Like, it is that 2 for each position. Like, the only one I've thrown on who's not, that's Tyler Moore. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like an easy 23, and the jump from 22 to 23 in terms of experience and how much football they're meant to get is quite noticeable, really. And so that, and it's not the worst plan in the world.
No, and I think that's what he wants. But I'll say again, he wears it. Yeah. You know what I mean? If it goes wrong, and he and they wear it, sorry, I'm not just putting it on him because he's got people to advise him, including Richard Hughes, but I do think it is what he wants. And he even spoke about it. He's talked about, we've got 2. Yeah. He said that in interviews, he's got 2 for every position. Yeah. I think he's got what he wants. Yeah.
Well, yeah, to a degree.
To a degree.
Yeah. Maybe like 1 or 2 of them to be slightly better.
Or to have different characteristics even. Yeah. It might be more accurate that, for instance, you might think Joe Gomez is great, but he'd like a left footer. Yeah. It might be that he loves Chimikas, but he wouldn't mind the sort of left back who could play left side of a 3. In a back 3, if you see what I mean, like one who does your left back and he does your left sided centre half. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's a chance he would like slightly different profiles, but I think he's got the numbers he wants. And I also think that for me, with one exception, but not for you, I think across all the 2 exceptions, because one being centre midfield, but the other one at the back, I think he's also got the quality he wants all the way through. I refuse to not have it that I think Joe Gomez is more than good enough to play for a team that not just plays Champions League football, but quite literally wins the fucking thing. Yeah. That's my position.
Can I ask you to rank forwards, midfielders and defenders out of 10, or am I getting ranking mad because I've got a new show?
You've got the ratings, haven't you? Yeah. To rate. I don't think you could ask for more up front. Yeah. I really don't think you could ask for more up front. So I'm going to say 9 because there must be something more you could ask for, but 9 is about as much as you could possibly do. For the defenders, I'm going to go with 7.5 in that. For the sheer, for them, I'm on 8.5. But I'm saying 7.5 because this is where I have my Skyfall in position. I would like 1 more. And for midfielders, I'm going to go 7, which is perhaps more generous than some people would be.
I was going to do 9.87, so we're almost spot on.
Well, you were almost spot on. I'm going to go 7, not least because I back the lads. I like the lads. We already like what we see from the manager, and I back him to coach. I really do back him to coach. I think that if there's one thing you can say so far, fucking hell, he can coach a footy team. He can make players be better, and he can get them settled and comfortable. Maybe I'm being a little naive. There might be some people shouting 6 or 5 as they watch this on the big telly in the front room around this. But I'm at the point of I'm happy to say 9.87. I'm just. I really like if you throw an Accio in there, even though I've barely ever seen him play. I'm going, oh, that's better.
But they come in the league.
I think they can win the league, yeah. Yeah. No, and I think there's no. But I think that this is. Let's end this with this if you want, because the manager wants us to say that they could win the league. The manager doesn't want it to be hiding places that he's come in. He's talked about building on last season, and I think his entire demeanour is he's here for business, and the business is the winning the trophies, the winning the games. They're up against formidable opponents in Manchester City and Arsenal, and no one else is their business. By the way, no one else is our business. Manchester City and Arsenal, they're our business, and no one else is. But I think he feels as though, well, we're their business, so they're going to have to watch us because we can win the league.
Absolutely. They're the boys that are going to hopefully lift something next May. Hope you've enjoyed these free shows. Thanks again to NordVPN for partnering with us. NordVPN.com/CAW if you want to take advantage of that special offer that they're doing at the moment. But yeah, thanks to Neil, Ash and Sam for making all these visuals happen. And for you guys for watching, of course, up the Reds.